of a Woman stars Vanessa Kirby as Martha, a young mother whose home birth ends in tragedy, and she begins a year-long odyssey of mourning that fractures relationships with loved ones in this deeply personal story of a woman learning to live alongside her loss. Directed by Cornel Mundruzo, who brought us one of the darkest films about dogs called White God in 2014, he once again brings us another incredibly heavy film. This is a dark, highly emotional drama that centers around grief and trying to move on in life when recovering from a tragedy. The most talked about part of the film, if you haven't heard by now, is this one long take centered around Kirby giving birth, which takes up a majority of the film's first 30 minutes. And it is easily one of the most intense, heartbreaking moments I've seen from a 2020 movie. It is masterfully shot, and it feels like something right out of a documentary where we feel like we're right there with these characters. And as it builds and builds, you won't be able to take your eyes away from the screen for a minute. And it crescendos when things seem like they might be okay for our main characters, but then we watch as that happiness quickly collapses into tragedy within seconds. And it is both beautifully done and heartbreaking. This is by far the film's strongest moment, but I'll just be right up front and say, the film's emotional intensity, while still there, never reaches the heights that one sequence reached. There are moments it gets somewhat close, but the first part of this movie is easily its best moment. It's never a feel-good movie. It constantly feels incredibly somber and very heavy the entire time. But after that first major sequence, it definitely takes a major step back to try letting us breathe somewhat, and it takes its time to work its way back up to reach anywhere close to those heights again. The film's mostly anchored by its performances. Considering everything going on with Shia LaBeouf right now, who plays Kirby's husband here, I'm not gonna get into him. But Kirby herself is incredible, and she is the one who carries most of this film. She is absolutely mesmerizing here. There's a lot of Oscar talk surrounding her, and I will say that she at the very least deserves to be nominated. It would be an absolute shame if she wasn't, because she knocks it out of the park here. There are two conflicting views at the core of this movie's plot. Kirby, who is upset over this loss but just wants to move on, and the rest of her family, most notably Ellen Burstyn as her mom, who wants to right what she feels is this wrong. The family pursues a lawsuit against the midwife, played by Molly Parker, and they kind of do so without Kirby's consent. And while this doesn't turn into a full-on courtroom drama, the stress of the case is looming over her the entire film, and it plays a major part in fracturing her relationships. Ellen Burstyn herself was also excellent here, and was easily my second favorite performance after Kirby. It was nice to see her pop up in something again. I know she hasn't totally disappeared in the last few years, but this is one of her biggest films in a while, and I thought she did a fantastic job showing us this very domineering character who feels the need to control her adult children's lives. But you can also see she honestly thinks what she's doing is in her kids' best interests, and we do explore a little bit of her reasoning as to why she is the way she is with them. And while you may not agree with her approach, you understand where she's coming from to a degree. And I thought the amount of nuance in there was beautifully handled, and I do hope Burstyn gets some award recognition herself. The film takes its time as we sit there with these characters trying to get through this horrible event, and at times it can feel a bit too slow, and that kind of adds to why the rest of the film doesn't reach the same heights as those first 30 minutes. But still, this is a well done, emotionally intense drama with some great performances that I recommend checking out. Pieces of a Woman gets a 7.5 out of 10. So, let me know, did you see Pieces of a Woman, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like these performances? Did the story resonate with you, and what's one of the most tragic films you've seen? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.